Hi, Gemini. We're going to get into the cards in a minute, but first let's talk your astrology. So this is Astrobrie. Hi, nice to meet you. We are going to talk about the astrology of October 20th, 19th, 20th to November 20th. We're going to talk about the cap of this season and how we're moving through. The South Node is going through an air sign. As this happens, it's hitting, actually, as I speak, it's been hitting Mercury, your ruler. The way that things have moved for you is very much like you're being set up by the universe to see if you've learned your lessons. There's a lot of testing going on, and and if you stand back and you pull back and you pull a little Aquarius at this, you might be able to see that you're being tested to see if you've learned your lessons in almost an identical way that you've been tested in the past. It's different, it might be a different setting or a different person, but something about it will be eerily familiar. And that's that South Node Gemini energy that we're experiencing right now. There's this chaos frequency that's like very apparent right now. As I say this, I just shuffled with half my deck backwards. Like, it is unpredictable and confusing, and it's supposed to be, but the more ease you put into just going with it, just being like, okay, that was weird, but whatever, weird flex, but okay. If you can keep that instead of being like, ow, that hurt, or ooh, I'm triggered, you're going to be fine. This is a test. This is not the ocean, sweetheart. You are just in a wave pool. So pull back a little bit on your surroundings when you're feeling like this huge thing and realize you're just on a ride and you will get off. You can get off. But yeah, we're going to look at the cards. So Gemini energy. Jupiter has been retrograding in your 12th house with Uranus. Now, since like 2018, you've been aware that you have a 12th house. You've been very aware that there is like your subconscious is a projection onto your conscious, and you've been able to kind of play with that for a few years now. And it generally happened because of like really chaotic experiences where you're like, did I make that happen? Or did I speak that into existence? And it's gotten to a point where halfway through the transit of Uranus in your 12th house, so you're just getting fully aware that like you are creating your reality. Like, it's not a pretty saying, it's actually happening. Jupiter coming through since like the beginning of 2023 and onwards, we had Jupiter moving through Taurus in a direct motion, and there was an ability to like manifest great things, like just pop it off, be like, I want a car, I'm getting approved for a car, I'm going out for a job, I'm getting approved for the job. I like just this go-getter energy that was really picked up. And then Jupiter went retrograde, and all of a sudden you couldn't remember what you were trying to get, what you wanted. The Eight of Swords is being blinded by your own thoughts. All of a sudden, you realize that there is a responsibility and great power. Very super Spider-Man of you. Jumble of my words. Thanks, Gemini. You know what I mean. There's a binding that was happening. And it was because you recognize that, like, yes, you have everything. You can have everything you want. Yes, you deserve everything you want. And yes, you should be sharing. But that doesn't mean you have to rush. You can slow down and enjoy these moments. And when you slow down and enjoy these moments and you get more connected to the things that you're in, sometimes it doesn't feel so comfortable because you realize the impact that you have on other people. Queen of Pentacles, slow moving, supporting, nurturing, patient, caring, supporting energy. If you look at this card, you can see the expression on her face. There's an awe in the caretaking of this gentle fertility, this ability. Like, wait a second, I'm magical. I have to be careful with myself. And there was an honor in recognizing that. And as Jupiter's going retrograde in your 12th house, it's likely that you're starting to recognize that although this will last forever and you're always going to be this great genie, as you will, the things that you're manifesting are fragile, even though they come abundantly and they come quickly because you wished for them. If you're not careful with them, you can kill them just as fast as you created them. And so there's this bounding of like, okay, well, I don't want to manifest anything else because I don't want to wreck anything. Because you're realizing the cause and reaction of your actions, of your manifestations. If somebody's winning, somebody's losing. And normally you're not big on guilt, but Saturn has been coming through 10 houses from your ascendant. If you're Gemini rising, 10 houses from your sun. If you're Gemini sun, if you're Gemini moon, it's 10 houses from your moon. That is the world weighing down on you and judging you for this quick manifestation, this hopeful joy that you've just been able to produce whatever the heck you want. And so you're persevering, but with some certain, there's a certain caretaking that's going to be required going forward that you may have been blinded to in the past. The world is at your feet. It's in your hands. It's all around you. You're interconnected to everything. And that is a huge freaking responsibility. When something goes, something comes. When one thing ends, another thing begins. When one thing begins, something else has to end. There is a reaction to everything, and you might have been blinded to it at the beginning. But if you react to everything, then there are reactions to everything that you're reacting to. So you're going to have to learn to conserve your energy so that you can enjoy every moment of your existence and be connected with the rest of the world without that heavy guilt. Now, in your 4th house, Venus has been coming through, but she's not alone. She's dancing with Lilith. Venus in Virgo is never really 100% great. Sometimes it's like a delusional type of love where there's this like idealism about perfection, and it can actually create like a nasty taste in the mouths of those around you, because they're like, how are you so delusional? How can you expect anyone to reach that level of perfection? And you're feeling that about home now, your safe space, your natural womb, the one inside of you. And I'm not speaking just to women who have wombs. I'm speaking to everyone here and every Gemini when I say like your root energy, the one that makes you feel safe. Being particular about the way you have things has always been something that makes you feel safe. Knowing where all your things are, having a collection of all your things, but also organizing all your things and having them in the order that pleases you. Being able to have the energy of someone who has the answers has also been something that you're very happy with. Now, with Venus coming through here, normally every 2 years you experience Venus. It's not on the clock, but around every 2 years you experience Venus coming through Virgo. And you get that boastful energy of like, oh, I'm actually really proud of the way I keep my home, and I have great idea of what I want to manifest at home, and I feel safer at home, and I feel more comfortable at home. But with Lilith coming right up behind her, this time there's a fighting energy to defend what you feel is safe at home, about your opinions, about the way you like order, about the way you want to be seen, about the way that you want to be respected, about what kind of things make you feel safe. Now, not only are you boastfully adding to what makes you feel safe, but you're getting real serious about what doesn't. Okay. Coming forward from this energy of this giant responsibility of understanding the power of your manifestations, you're walking into something uncharted. This is the 2 of Pentacles reversed and the 7 of Wands reversed. The 2 of Pentacles talks about juggling and entertaining other people, but that's where you can tell you fell off. You may have been manifesting just because you knew you could now project your, perception of reality out there, and then you saw the reaction from the outside world, and they didn't quite see you as an entertainer, but maybe more of a fool. And then going forward from there may have even caused animosity, some barking, some arrogance in standing above the crowd, standing above other people, be like, I don't care if you're not entertained. I think it's funny. And that separated you from the cause and effect, or at least you thought it did. When really you were out there trying to just manifest what works for you blindly without actually having a plan. But no, nonetheless, following what you know, you got trapped because you realized you didn't know enough about what you wanted when you started manifesting. And you manifested something that was fragile and sensitive. And from there was a worldly effect. There was a shifting in your entire surroundings, more than you expected. And because of that, because of this blind dance that you did, the effect was partially negative. And it made you run. It triggered your response to leap away. Interestingly enough, part of the Gemini frequency if we look at the sidereal zodiac underneath the tropical zodiac and don't move them, we'll find Migashira, which is the deer, in part of Gemini. Migashira has the energy of, and I have a Migashira messaging me right now. You guys are so psychic. There is a feeling of running from things or leaping away when you don't feel safe into a new manifestation, like dropping everything that didn't work and running into something new, a new trajectory, a new projection. But where's that going to take you? Are you taking your lessons with you? We're going to look a little deeper. So I'm going to shuffle a couple of cards to get a little bit more further information about this Gemini. And we're going to jump ahead 1 month and look at where you'll be November 19th. Now, by November 19th, Saturn in your 10th house will have moved direct. And the moon will be coming up to kiss it the very next day on the 20th. The sun will be deep into Scorpio, conjunct Mars. And your ruler will be in your opposite sign, in Sagittarius. You will be seeing the lessons that you've experienced and the experiences that you have been learning from other people. And they will be communicating to you how either you taught them by experience, or they watched you go through something similar, or they heard you talk about your lessons. And now they're experiencing the same. And you get to be the teacher at this point. This is when you get to stand in that role of all teachers are students initially. And now you get to be both. You're always good at doing two things at once, aren't you, Gemini? So going from here, what are we leaping into? What are we leaping into? Having known this manifestation power now, having known that if we rush through things and we're sneaky, we don't cover all our bases, we don't do all our research, what are we learning? What are we taking with us? 7 of Swords. The Thief card. To the Queen of Swords. To the 7 of Cups. 7s are very prominent here. With Saturn moving into a place of direct motion in your 10th house. 10 houses from Gemini. Sitting on top of the Queen of Pentacles is now a Queen of Swords. Discernment. Picking your battles wisely, not getting overwhelmed by the delusion of having so many options, and understanding when you really sit with yourself, there's only one option at a time. And you get to have it all, but you don't get it all at once. Page of Swords. So many lessons. You may find yourself speaking, guiding others. We did speak on that, about how your ruler will be in your 7th house. You may find yourself teaching people your experience through communicating it. And you're going to avert heartbreak. This is a big one, Gemini. Now, I am going to go into a little bit more clarity. We are going to look a little deeper at this lesson. I'm going to pull some oracle cards, but one final card. First is Justice. Oh, we're working in a balanced mind now. I love this for you. Yeah. Who are you speaking to? So let's look into what's coming for you, Gemini. Let's look into the Venus opposite Chiron energy that we'll have when Venus hits Libra and how that's going to affect you. Because That's your 11th, your friend zone, and your play zone. Okay, so what's going on with friends with benefits? What's going on with falling in love with your best friend? What's going on along with becoming best friends with your lover? Let's look into that. And let's look into Mars moving through your 8th house and conjuncting the sun. Sorry, your 6th house of health and habit and routine. Looks like you're getting a new plan. 3 cards for the 6th house. 3 cards for the 5th house. 3 cards for the 11th house. And we'll look into these. We're going to look deeper into Venus's transit in Libra for you, Mars's transit in Scorpio. We're going to look a little deeper into all of that and see really what's bringing it up with the Chiron energy in your 11th house. Okay, so we'll look into that in the extended. Gemini, I love you. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.